We spent a fair amount of time in this module diving into the fundamentals of IPv4 routing and subnetting. I wanted to make sure we covered these sufficiently because your success on the exam depends on how well you understand these topics. The first thing we covered was binary. When it comes to IPv4 and binary, all you need to remember are the numbers 8 and 128, and you can figure out almost everything else from there, including how to convert binary to decimal and vice versa. We converted slash to dotted decimal notation and vice versa. Slash notation is called bit count notation and presents the subnet mask as simply a slash and the number of ones bits in the mask. Dotted decimal format presents those same bits as decimal values. We looked at an easy way to calculate wildcard masks from dotted decimal subnet masks. This is very easy. Just subtract each octet from 255 and the result is the wildcard mask. We then look briefly at loopback interfaces, which are going to come into play a lot with dynamic routing protocols. A network prefix must be in the IP routing table to be advertised, with one exception. We saw, for example, that manual summary advertisements are not in the IP routing table, as long as one of the component routes is in the routing table. RIP-v2 is classless by default, but auto summary causes it to summarize along major network boundaries and send classful updates and not component routes. Distribute lists are used to filter outgoing or incoming routes. When you use the distribute-list command, you block any routes that are not explicitly allowed. Distribute lists use ACLs, which use wildcard masks. Ceph is the default switching technology and uses a forwarding information base and an adjacency table. The fib is built based on info in the IP routing table and is what forwarding decisions are based on. The adjacency table contains pre-computed layer 2 headers which are appended to outgoing packets. Process switching is horrible and slow. Thankfully, it's not used by default, but if you use the log or log-input keywords with an ACL, process switching will be used for those packets. Fast switching is marginally better than process switching because it uses a cache, but it falls apart with a large number of prefixes. Now that we've gotten the easy stuff out of the way, in the next module, we're going to cover IP version 6. By the way, if you've enjoyed this module, please remember to rate it. I always strive to make 5-star courses, and your feedback goes a long way in helping to make that happen.